It takes one. How opening your worldview can end racism. What is racism exactly? We know it's been around since the dawn of time, but what exactly is it? To hate someone because of their skin color? It seems dumb when you say it out loud. Because of the pigmentation of their skin, billions of people have been treated differently. Because of the pigmentation of their skin, millions of people have been enslaved. Thousands of people have been hung or locked up or fired. Although we have made sufficient progress in the race towards equality, there are still some lingering tendencies. When I was 6 years old, I began to read. I found books in my classroom that had primarily white characters. When I was 7, I started watching movies with Disney princesses. As you can see, they're almost all white with the exception of 2 girls. When I was 12, I started watching movies with superheroes. All of them in this picture are white. When I was 13, I realized that in over 200 years, we've only had one president of color. And now I'm 15, and I will go to a party and hear rooms of white children screaming the N-word. Racism is everywhere, whether you know it or not, and it kills. One of the first words that comes to mind when you think of racist is the infamous group known as the Ku Klux Klan, otherwise referred to as the KKK. For those who are unaware of who or what they are, it is an American terrorist organization. This group was founded on beliefs such as white nationalism, white supremacy, and anti-immigration. This group has used physical assault and murder against minority groups they did not agree with, such as African Americans. This group was founded in the 1860s in the southern United States. It has been around for over 150 years. And in all of that time, we have not managed to completely get rid of it, and we must ask ourselves, why? How can we allow this to happen? It is sad that we can let people go on and continue like this. Here are some pictures from a rally in Charlottesville, July 2017. This rally was authorized by local officials, which means they were presented with the idea for this rally and they let it happen. Police officers or law enforcement officials have not exactly been beneficial towards the African American community in multiple ways. Through the violent acts of police brutality, as well as the unjust and unfair criminal justice system, most African Americans see the police as a threat instead of a symbol of safety, as much of us see it. More than half of young black Americans have known someone or have experienced it themselves being harassed by the police. Show of hands here, has anyone here been harassed by the police because of their race? Whether or not you know it, this is privilege in action. A black individual is 3 times more likely to be shot and killed than a white individual unarmed, because of an innate sense that confuses our minds to associate black with criminal, or with drug dealer, or with dangerous. And of these terrible police brutality cases, 99% of these police officers get off without any sort of punishment. As you can see here, only these few are convicted. It's a rare occurrence that this ever happens. These law enforcement officials are aware of the stigma that surrounds them. If you'll direct your attention to this video I have.
All person that was coming to get you, tell them they don't need to come. All right? Yes. Okay? So go ahead and call them. I'm going to take you to jail, and I'm going to impound the car.
Before that,
No.
I can't call them if you don't open the door.
Why can't you?
Because I will not put my...
Use your phone. It's in your lap right there.
I just don't want to put my hands down. I'm really sorry. I'm just...
You just look at you on.
No. I'm just going to wait for many videos of problems.
But you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right? All the videos you've seen, have you seen white people get killed? You have.
I don't know what's...
Shocking, right? This problem is not one that we can ignore. We cannot brush this off as a couple of sad statistics and think how unfortunate. I'm so sorry that happened. But I will get to how we can be more proactive later. Another way the criminal justice system is unfair to African Americans is due to the sale of marijuana as well as the prison makeup. Although African Americans only make up 13% of the U.S. population, they make up 60% of the people behind bars. They are unfairly targeted. A black man is much more likely to serve a lifetime sentence for the sale of marijuana as compared to a white individual. Although the sale and use of marijuana is roughly the same between the two, a black man is 3.7 times more likely to serve any kind of time as compared to the white individual. If a black man and a white man commit the same crime, the black man will likely serve a sentence 20% longer than the white man's. We need to stop these statistics. The term liberty and justice for all cannot ring true unless we break down these walls of racial bias and begin to treat everyone equally. This starts with each of us in our own communities. The great Angela Davis once said, "In a racist society, it is not enough to be non-racist, we must be anti-racist." This starts with each of us. This is how we can be proactive in ending this problem. I took some polls out of curiosity to see the statistics of racism in our very own Chatham High School. 96% of people had heard someone make fun of someone else because of their race. This is not okay in any way, shape, or form, obviously. Thousands of people have died because of this issue, and people are acting as if it's all a joke. And a shocking 100% had heard someone made a racist joke before. And this is where we can stop this problem. Simply by ignoring the joke will not help, and they will continue to tell it without being stopped. What we need to do is tell them why it's wrong, and we need to ask them to stop. The best way to do this, as a study has showed, is to have a 10-minute non-confrontational conversation with them. The study proved that having this conversation would help open their minds, change their worldview, and make them more receptive to hear what you're saying. We may be labeled as the snowflake generation that can't take a joke, but together we can take down this bias. One of the most problematic sayings, I think, surrounding this problem is the saying, not everything's about race. I often hear this saying, but out of the mouths of non-colored individuals. Whether or not an issue concerns race should not be up to someone who has never endured any racial discrimination. I chose to learn about this topic because I wanted to know what an African American went through on a daily basis in terms of discrimination. I am blessed that I get to learn about it. It is a privilege instead of experiencing it firsthand. If one person is to speak out against a teacher, a boss, a parent, a coach, they can change their worldview and stop this problem once and for all. It only takes one.